Hey, welcome to the Dalai Compass Academy. So today is part 2 of 5 easy ways to deal with stress. So today I'm going to talk about, in 5 easy ways to deal with stress, I share with you, 5 easy ways that you can deal with stress. And one of the ways I'm going to share with you today is remain true to yourself even when others attack you. That's what I'm going to focus on today. How do you remain true to yourself even when others attack you? That's what I'm going to do, okay? So the question here is, what will you do with the stress that comes from either being falsely accused, attacked, or belittled, or being completely misunderstood? Unfortunately, this is part of what we have to deal with every day in our lives. And as you very well know, in the Dalai Compass Academy, our focus is on health and wellness, simple solutions, simple strategies you can use every day that will help you, manage stress or maintain positive interactions so that you can, live a happier and healthier version of yourself, So do you know how to remain true to yourself without lashing out in anger? Do you know how to do that? What would you do if you just see that people are, just not, like if they're being a jerk or they're getting in your space, what will you do, Sadly, when some people have made up their minds about what you are or what your personality means, further explanations to clarify yourself usually mean nothing. I mean, this could happen to you if you're a professional. You could be doing your very best, but your boss has refused to value you. He doesn't see any value in you. He sees only something wrong. He or she never sees anything positive in you. They only see what you haven't done right. There's no compliment. When it comes to time for promotions or even just acknowledging that you've done a good job, they turn a blind eye. But if you do something wrong, so how can you remain true to yourself in such circumstances and still be happy? Remember, your health is your first wealth, okay? Without your health, you can't do anything else. So you've got to stay focused on that, no matter where you find yourself. So it can be quite challenging when you discover that people only remember what you've done wrong. This can be quite stressful, especially when the person or people making such comments or pronouncements are close to you or are your bosses. Just from the example I just gave, right? First, remember that opinions are not facts, okay? Yeah, opinions are not facts, okay? If you're a tall person and someone comes and tells you, oh, man, I see you're short, or you haven't done anything about your height, man, you're very close to the ground, or that kind of stuff, but the person is not being factual because, most people tell you you're tall, and you're tall, so the problem is when it comes to things in the mind, it's not quite easy for us to be sure where we're at. So negative comments and opinions tend to have greater impact, For instance, if you already doubt yourself, if you think you're an anxious person, if you think you're not very confident, you're not very smart, and someone comes and tells you that, it just builds on that doubt that you already have, and it's going to make things more stressful for you. So the first thing you need to do is you need to recognize the situation you're dealing with. And remember that if you're there to remain true to yourself, it will become easier for you to deal with stress on your own terms. Are you comfortable being yourself in all situations? Are you? If you are like most people, you are 90% of yourself when you are with close friends, about 55% of yourself when you're with casual acquaintances, and hide yourself from strangers because you don't know the person yet and you don't know how the person is going to react to your joke, to your laughter, to all those kind of things, and you don't want people to have the wrong impression or say the wrong things about you, right? But being your true self in all settings and situations is scary, but ultimately empowering and relaxing. It's part of being confident, It's going to, help you relieve stress. And I talk a lot about relieving stress because from my own personal experience, from research I've done, and from my interactions with others, When you're able to effectively relieve stress and manage it or eliminate it in the different situations or your interactions, you tend to live a healthier, more confident, joyful, more fulfilled life. You know, especially as you get older and you don't have, these robust systems or the energy to overcome things, to begin again. It becomes more challenging, right? So it's maintenance is a very important part of getting older or getting younger. No longer have to worry about. So when you're able to be your true self in different situations without being judged or being able to deal with the judgment, because get one thing clear, don't assume that when you're your true self in every situation, everybody's going to love you or accept you for that. No, it doesn't work like that. So you no longer have to worry about the perceptions of others because you're focused in being true to yourself in every situation and circumstance, because your focus is not being true to yourself in every circumstance and situation you find yourself. This is scary and empowering at the same time. Imagine if you got so comfortable in your own skin that you stopped caring what others had to say about you. You can just be yourself and feel satisfied with that. What will you do with the stress? Imagine if you could do that, right? Would that be a great thing for you to experience? Yes. In some circumstances. Okay, it would be. What will you do with the stress that comes from being falsely accused or being completely misunderstood? When your forgetfulness and inattention is considered as evidence that you are cold and uncaring, or that you're so incompetent that nothing good will ever come out of an association with yourself, what will you do? First, ask yourself if there is some truth to what you're being accused of. Are you forgetful? Are there steps you can take to help you remember things, I used to be one of those that, sometimes found it hard to, tell where I kept things like my car key or something. But I found out that if you keep it in one spot over and over, once you come back, you have it kept in a particular spot, you're gonna your reputation will change. You'll be one of those who know where to find things. You're not going to lose it likely. So it's you kind of, by changing your behavior, you rewire your brain. You kind of, and people will see that and start saying, oh, he knows where he keeps his stuff. He doesn't lose things easily, stuff like that. But you've got to change, right, and put it where. But it's also part of understanding yourself. You know that it's true that you don't always remember where you keep stuff. So when you now make the decision to keep it at a particular spot, that's what happens, right? You get it. Okay. So that's the thing. It's one way to help yourself. So if there is some truth to some of these statements or questions or accusations or innuendos, make an adjustment and become a better version of yourself. If there is no truth and you're simply dealing with harsh judgments without context, then say crickets. Okay, that's what I say. Crickets. Okay, yeah, it's their opinion. Okay, just stay focused, remaining true to yourself. Okay, by doing the following every day. These are tips and strategies that I think will help you to remain true to yourself even when others attack you, and therefore it will help you to eliminate stress. Okay, the first thing you do is make out time to meditate every day, at least 5 times. Spend at least 5 minutes. Create at least 5 minutes every day where you can just be quiet at least 3 times a day, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, and then in the evening before you retire. Don't judge yourself and others. Gain some insight into your real self, what's happening. Meditate, on your goals for the day. Are you meeting your goals? Are they too complex? You need to simplify them. Prepare for criticism. Okay, one of the things I tell people, I treat people in Dollar Compass Academy, in the Compass Wellness Challenge is anticipate 10 criticisms from every person you interact with every day. It's a very unique way of looking at things, and it's been helpful once I started doing that, because what this does for you, it frees your mind. By the time you get to first criticism or first complaint, it's only 1 out of 10. So you just wait for the other 9, and sometimes I get to a count of 5 or 6 and the day is over, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I came out winners. And the idea is trying to build in the anvil, the reaction that you're going to have that will absorb that without, putting you in a bad situation. That's what it's about, you know. Yeah, you got to be able to meditate, okay? Every day, at least try it in for 5 times, 3 minutes. That's what you should do. Tell yourself the truth. That's the second thing, okay, that you can do to remain true to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. When you are truthful to yourself, the reality of your situation, becomes clearer to you. Be honest about your mistakes and shortcomings. If you're truly making mistakes, be honest about them and try to make changes, Unless you have the humility to admit your own mistakes, you will not be able to identify the problems that make others aggressively strike out at you, Is there some truth in what people are saying? If there is, make some adjustments, okay? Don't just blindly or willfully just say no, nothing is wrong, even when you know something is truly wrong, okay? Be unique, okay? The true you isn't exactly like everyone else. There's something different about you, Embrace it, Don't try to be like everyone else. It doesn't work. What music do you like? What music do you listen to? Everyone can't like the same music that you like. Everyone cannot like exactly the same artist. Well, we all don't have the same playlist. Recognize that. Celebrate what you love about yourself, Be cautious. Read the environment. Not everyone who smiles at you is with you, okay? Some people consider you a nuisance, sadly, but that doesn't mean you're a nuisance, right? But try to be unique, but be smart as well. Notice your crutches and try to get rid of them, okay? What do I mean by that? You spend too much time doing mindless internet surfing. Is that what's killing your time? Okay, that you shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's use mind, always buy things from the internet, Do you eat too much ice cream, too much carbs and too much sugar? Are pleasure foods to help you manage stress, Do you blame yourself every time something goes wrong, Do you put on expensive designer clothes that you can't afford so that you impress people and they'll think you're rich or you're cool, but you're burning your wallet, okay? These are crutches. These are things you try to use to deal with the boredom and anxiety and stress and anxiety and prevent you, but they don't work. In the long run, they won't work unless you have that internal change, So keep that in mind. Understand if there are certain things you're trying to use just to keep yourself standing when you haven't, done the work you should do for yourself. Examine areas of your life that feel inauthentic, Be true to yourself. If you're a person of faith and you believe in prayers, pray, okay? You don't have to pray out where everyone would see you, but if you know that's one of your anchors, use it, But don't be preachy. Don't try to force people to do that. But if you know that's truly what works for you, embrace it, If that doesn't work for you, then don't pretend it, okay? Yeah, you have to be authentic, Everyone is different, but those who find themselves and truly live their authentic life blossom more and have less stress, Yes. So make sure that during your interactions with others, that you remain true to yourself. Spend your time on things you enjoy, Yes. Think about the times that you are inauthentic and ask yourself why. Are you doing it to run away from stress or to numb yourself from the reality of stress or your daily situation? Okay. So, do you like playing hockey or football? Which one? Or watching them? Do you like watching football but pretend it's hockey? And then when people talk about hockey, you try to, say things that will end up not being right. People can see right through. They will know that you don't watch the game. They will see the things you're saying. It won't add up. So, but yeah, you can acknowledge that others like it, but that's not what you like. Would you rather be talking about rumba lessons or Roomba lessons? Is that what you love talking about? Okay. Or do you know how to dance ogene music? Do you know what ogene music is? It's a type of Nigerian music. Yeah. It's pretty energetic and fun, and it's very people come up with songs, that they sometimes just make up on, it's a very spontaneous way of singing and dancing. It's something I enjoy. Not everyone likes it, you know, but you have to embrace it, right? You have to embrace it. Some people don't like that at all. I get it, but being authentic and being true to yourself, it's part of, the extension, part of what people will get in the interaction. Maybe you like jazz, Yeah, I had a friend, that's all he loved, jazz all the time. And if he didn't love jazz, he thought that you had no taste in music. But that's his opinion, it's not a fact. Don't let such things put you down, and then don't try to, become like that person. There are a lot of examples like that. These days, a lot of people like video games, and they play it a lot, and they have their scores or the challenges they've gone through. If you're not good at it or if you don't like it, be true to yourself. Don't pretend that you do, because it's not going to work. People will see through your lack of authenticity, and it's only going to make things more stressful for you. So the other thing is, you need to do one thing you want to do but are afraid to try. People at the office might laugh at you, or if you tell them you want to play the violin, right? It's a lot of work to learn how to play it, or you want to start playing the piano when you have no clue, make, take acting classes, do it. It gives you a third dimension to your life, something different from the two things you do, which is, most people going to work and then dealing with family, However, I would say, do it, and then do that, learn that lesson, that piano. People might be jealous that you actually had the nerve to try something new, but it's part of you remaining true to yourself and being better able to manage stress. You're not going to find yourself stifled, because your brain is always exploring. You're trying to learn new things, finding new ways to do old things, so that's one advantage of doing that. Okay. And then get outside. The outdoor environment is great. Make out time to be outside. Maybe go for a walk, or go for a walk, go exercise. We encourage a lot of indoor exercise in the La Compass Academy, especially the Relentless Weightless Challenge, doing jump ropes, skipping, but getting outside to interact with the environment, to hear the birds chirp, the birds sing, walk around, see different people, how they are coping with exercise, stuff like that, it's great. It's going to rejuvenate you. It's going to make you feel better. Get yourself into a more natural environment, and you find it easier to be authentic, because you see the rest of the living things around you being authentic. You see the birds, being authentic, everything else, squirrels, all that you'll get in the park, just being authentic. Or sometimes it's just you're walking to, and you can catch this authenticity and this interaction with the environment in any time. You could be getting into the car, you see a bird, hey, take a video of that, see a free, picking up, jumping around, hopping around, and or it could just be a snail walking across. Don't crush it. Wait for it to slowly get across. This is all part of interacting with the environment. But make out time, either every day or every week, to go out there, walk or jog, and do all these things at your own pace. But enjoy the environment. Don't be in a rush, to do that. Strengthen your boundaries. Let people know the things you would accept, the things you would not. One of my friends, I would call him the great, one of friends, a psychologist once said that we train people how they will treat us, So if you set boundaries and make those things clear, people will know, what your opinion and feelings are, the things that hurt you, the things they shouldn't cross, But also be prepared for some people knowing that and trying to use that against you, reverse psychology. So you have to be mentally prepared for that too, So you will know, those things that you need to let people know they shouldn't do, or if they do, they would learn from the reaction you give them. Of course, be careful. There's no need for violence, for emotional attacks and everything. Still stay positive in your reactions. Okay, so these are some of the tips I think that can help you remain true to yourself, and I'm sure if you do this every day, regularly, you will begin to see the benefits yourself. You will see the difference in how you manage stress. You see the difference in how you manage challenging negative interactions and find yourself being more positive. Right? I hope this helps. If you do find this useful, please leave a comment or subscribe. And this is, just like I said, the second part in the 5 easy ways to deal with stress. Right? I'll see you next time.